Those windows are going, it shows that this is going to be freaking amazing inside.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ellie Knows Rocks. Today is going to be a quick short video on how to rock hound. The things that you're looking for, the tools that you need, and just some general basics on how to get started. So you could call this Rock Hounding 101. So thank you guys so much for watching, and let's go see what we find. So one of the first things I'm going to use today is just a pick. It's a simple pick. I've used this one for quite a long time. You can get them at Home Depot, you can get them at Harbor Freight, you can probably even get them at Walmart. Me personally, I love utilizing a backpack when I'm out rock hounding so that your waist can take on the majority of the bulk of the weight. I also use my pockets, as I think a lot of people do. But you can take things like a bucket or a giant tote bag. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable carrying is what you want to use. When you're going out rock hounding, tell somebody where you're going, especially if you're going alone. Give somebody the information, like the time that you're going to go out, the general location you're going to be in, and when you plan on being home. A buddy system is always highly recommended. If you can take a buddy, definitely do it. I am a pretty advanced rock hound. Being a professional geologist for years, I can go out, I know the lay of the land. I'm very well versed in first aid and a lot of other techniques to make sure that I survive, but not everybody is. So please, 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 please be careful when you're out and about. When I go out to any area, I scan. And I will scan all the way around me. One of the first places that I like to start looking on is on alluvial fans, like some of the ones here. These are covered with colluvium, which means that the source rock is close to where the rock fell from. That's colluvium. An alluvial fan, or alluvium, is just kind of a mound that washed out of bigger hills in the surrounding area. So whatever you're finding here that has been maybe slightly rounded, looks a little bit tumbled, doesn't look very jagged, probably came from a source rock that came from a bigger hill. But this is the best place to start so that you know what's in the area. Another awesome place to start is if you're on an alluvial fan or any area really, just to start looking in small washes. Little gullies that go down, that cut through the alluvial fan or that cut through the colluvium, because it's going to be another place where the heavier minerals settle, which can be some of what you're looking for. It's usually the best place to start. It can also be an area where it uncovers minerals that are further down in the alluvial fan. So this is our area that we're scanning. And we're gonna walk right down into this wash right here to look for stuff. And like I said, I'm just out here to see what's out here. That's how you start rock hounding. You just kind of want to see what's on the ground. And it's a lot easier to start and pick stuff up than it is to come out with a bunch of tools at first. Now look, this right here in the wash, first thing we're finding. Right? Check this out. This is some jasper, some quartz, almost some geode action going on. Really, really pretty specimen. At the same time, there's this little guy. Picking up this little guy right beside it. This is a small geode. You see the windowing faces. You would have to cut this open, of course, to see what's inside. Not everything is going to present itself right away. Some things, especially in rock hounding, you'll have to cut open unless, of course, you're looking for crystals. Like this right here is a piece of jasper. For this area, there's a lot of brown picture jasper. So this is just here, right here in this little wash. Goes all the way down and travels. And so you just kind of want to walk this area to see what you can find. Remember that if you are in a wash, that the rocks traveled downhill. So they tumbled down from an area. So as you start to walk up the hill from an area, you might start to find more of what you just found in the wash, like what's right on the ground in front of me. This, look at that. We have agate banding, we have little bits of chalcedony. That might be a geode inside. We've got some crystals and agate banding around some jasper. Oh, I love these. These are little gas bubble geodes. Some more. Like there's all kinds of stuff up the hill from the wash. Ooh, that one is cool. Look at that. And we're not digging. We are just surface collecting. Surface collecting is definitely the best way to start rock hounding. You don't have too much of an investment in it. You're just hiking around an area, especially if you're close. Take things home and wash them off to see what you have. I just picked up a very cool piece of agate. And again, I just have my little tool. I have a backpack. Don't forget to bring out water and a snack whenever you're rock hounding. Those things are very important. Keep scanning. Get close to the ground. You don't need to travel fast across any area. The quicker you start walking across an area because you think the grass is greener on the other side of the wash, you're probably going to miss something that you wish you would have found. And so I sit. I get close to the ground and focus my eyes on all of the different shapes and textures, from things that look like they're crystal to things that look like they're kind of ruddy on the outside. Look how cool that looks on the inside. Very key point about rock hounding is when you are surface collecting and you're getting used to textures and colors and that kind of a thing, don't be afraid to flip rocks over. Case in point, look at the bands, and if you're an agate person or a possible geode loving person, this might have a geode in it, but it definitely has those pretty agate bands. This has a lot of desert varnish, as you can see behind me. But desert varnish just kind of means that nobody's been there to flip the rock over. And flipping a rock over that has desert varnish on it, it could have a geode inside of it. It could be jasper. It could have crystals underneath of it. You never know until you're out there looking. And that's just it about rock hounding. It is about the adventure and what you could possibly find, and keeping all of those little clues that you've learned how to identify in the back of your head. So when you see something on the ground, you don't need a squirt bottle. You don't need to necessarily cut it open right away. There are hints that this rock right here might be very cool inside just from the outside alone. Another thing that you want to be looking for is color change over the rocky slopes. The more color change there is in the area, the better chance you're going to have at finding something that you're going to like. That's going to have a very beautiful color, something you can cab, something you can polish, or even just stick in your front yard. And you can see behind me how there is a cap of very dark rocks, most likely volcanic, or they could be a desert varnish. Just below those, the rock is a little bit lighter, so a little bit more felsic, could possibly be a different volcanic, but color change in rock can mean mineral change, and it's most likely mineral change, and it can change things from red to brown to green depending on the amount of iron, chromium, nickel, aluminum in the volcanic rock. As everything was erupting, and then silica comes in, fills in voids and creates amazing agates, and in those agates that color change could be included because the fluid is going to pull it in as the agate solidifies. Woo! So you always want to be looking for color change. It can mean a lot. Something that I get told quite often, and one of the reasons that people stop rock hounding, is because they get discouraged. They go out to an area and they say, Ellie, I don't find anything. I haven't found anything. Well, I try to give them a few tips, but not every area is good for rock hounding. And you just have to accept that. You sometimes need to move on. You need to go look at different locations. Look at different geologic maps. Also, rock hounding books for your state and area are very, very useful so that you can go look in those areas. But treat each one the same. Go out, start slow. If you're close to the area, just take some little, small, limited tools to go out and check it out. And if you don't find anything, don't be discouraged. Learning to rock hound is like learning everything else. It takes time and practice to attune your eyes to see what you're going to find, or to at least recognize what you're trying to find. And not everything is going to be self-explanatory. You might find something that looks like a geode that isn't, and you might find things that are absolutely crazy insane, but you're never going to know until you cut them open. So having a rock saw or a lapidary shop nearby is kind of a crucial point too, unless you're just looking for the face value of an interesting rock. So don't ever be discouraged. That is the one thing. Keep going, keep trying. If you love this, don't stop.
Now, since the area I've rockhounded requires us to cut the rocks open to see what we found, let's reveal some of the finds from today's trip. Look at the little round botryoidalness. Great agate banding in red, brown, light blue, and white. Okay, this one I just shaved the sides off of. And that's the back. The side, it's got a little hole there. Look at that. Of course, this can be completely further cleaned up, but it is stunning. Isn't that wild? This one had great windows on both sides. Look at that. All of those marks are honestly just scrapes from the saw. The dark ones in the middle, but the bright blue and red. Wow. I am blown away by this one. It has two windows, a big window on the outside that looks kind of funky. Wait for it. Look at that. Brown jasper in the middle, crystals, red, blue, white, beautiful banded agate. I mean, that is just amazing, isn't it? Look at that. I definitely wanted to see what we had going on with the crystals that you could see daylighting on the outside of this. And look at that. Look at those blues, purples, reds in there. Look at that. Look how amazing that looks. The red, blue, and white agate banding. Just perfect little islands. Now I have saved the best for last. This one I had a lot of high hopes for. I think I have some of the pieces backwards in order. There was not a lot of windowing actually on the outside except for some agate banding. But look. Is that not amazing? Look at the jasper, the white agate and blue agate banding around it. These are so cool. I will definitely be keeping a couple of these pieces for my absolute personal collection. Just because it's spectacular. Ah, it's so cool.
Thank you guys so much for watching this short little rock hounding 101 video. I hope you learned something, and on the next one we're going to talk about some more advanced techniques of digging for specific minerals, looking for crystals, and just some other stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
I'm absolutely blown away by how beautiful these are.